Hi everyone, it's Liam here from A Shot of Wildlife. In the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you almost everything you need to know about the long-tailed tit. You might know them as mum ruffins, bum barrels, or bag and hedge jugs. But despite these nicknames, in my opinion, the long-tailed tit has a perfectly suitable name already. Their 7 to 9 centimetre tail does make up more than half their body length after all. They have a wingspan of around 18 centimetres and are surprisingly light at just 7 to 10 grams in weight. There are several races of this species, each with varying amounts of black and white on their heads and faces. They also have a pink band along their shoulders, pied markings down their wings, and very pale pink or white undersides. They are found across most of the UK, apart from the very north of Scotland, and are resident over a lot of mainland Europe and Central Asia. The range extends as far east as Japan. Long-tailed tits are becoming a more common sight in urban areas, gardens, parks and graveyards, but they are more traditionally found around farmland, woodlands and heathlands. Throughout most of the year, their diet is almost entirely based on invertebrates. They seem to have a special taste for spiders, aphids and caterpillars, but in the winter they'll also feed on berries, seeds, nuts, and they'll sometimes be seen visiting garden bird feeders. Long-tailed tits usually start nesting from 1 year of age, when a pair will form from early February onwards and begin the construction of a very unique dome-shaped nest. This can take more than 3 weeks to build and is made out of moss and lichen woven together with spiders' webs. Because of this, the nest itself can expand and stretch as the chicks grow inside, but just to make it even more comfortable, the parents then line it with hundreds and sometimes thousands of feathers. In fact, a Victorian ornithologist with far too much time on his hands once counted the feathers in a long-tailed tit's nest to find a whopping 2,379 of them. Well, everybody's got to have a hobby. After the nest is complete, they don't lay their eggs straight away, often waiting a few days before, perhaps to see if any predators had noticed them building it. Once they are sure it's safe, the female will lay between 6 and 14 peanut-sized white eggs with brown speckles. The female incubates them alone for 14 to 18 days, whilst the male brings food to her in the nest. Because of the shape of their nests, I couldn't find any footage of the chicks developing inside, but after 16 to 17 days, they are ready to fledge and leave the nest. The chicks continue to be fed by their parents after this point for several weeks, and will often stay with their family group throughout the rest of the year and into the next nesting season, sometimes actually helping their parents to rear their next batch of chicks. But it's not just the related birds that help each other. Long-tailed tit nests in the UK have less than 20% chance of success, and depending when the nest fails, the parents have a couple of choices. If the nest fails early into the season, the pair can build a second nest, albeit sometimes a less structurally complete one, and try to rear a second clutch of eggs. But if the nest fails later in the year, they may do something quite unusual. The adult birds may go and find another long-tailed tit's nest and help that pair to rear their chicks. One study found that almost half of all the long-tailed tit nests in the UK have non-parent helpers, and it isn't all one-sided. Birds that help others to rear their chicks have been shown to have a higher survival rate into the following nesting season and are more likely to be successful at rearing their own chicks the next time round. If they manage to rear chicks to the point of fledging, long-tailed tits will only nest once per year, and pairs usually remain monogamous for life. Long-tailed tits do not migrate, although they may move away from their nesting area during the colder months when they join mixed flocks with other small birds, such as blue and great tits, and roam from place to place in search of food. Long-tailed tit numbers have risen by almost 40% in the past decade, and at the most recent count, there are approximately 380,000 pairs of them in the UK. They live on average for 2 to 3 years, with the oldest known bird being recorded at 8 years and 11 months of age from the day that it was ringed. Here is one of the long-tailed tit's most common calls. Well, if you learned something new and you enjoyed this video, check out this video here about blue tits. And if you like that, subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.